Last time on Out Chasing Stars, we spent 2 more days exploring Sri Lanka's cultural triangle with our friends Kimmy and Trevor. We hiked a lot of stairs at Sigiriya Rock, took a tuk-tuk tour around an ancient city, visited a cave temple, and finished in Kandy with a cultural show. That marked the end of our time with Kimmy and Trevor as they headed back to Trincomalee, while we had a train to catch.
We abandoned Kimmy and Trevor today. We left them to fend for themselves with Raj, so they're going to be fine.
They're going to be okay.
We are at the train station in Kandy, and we are hopping one of the most beautiful train rides in the world from Kandy to Ella. We're bright and early, we got our first class seats, and we're ready to roll.
While you can purchase tickets in advance at any train station in Sri Lanka, we didn't know far beforehand exactly what date we'd be taking the train. Second class is the preferred option, with assigned seats and opening windows. But when we arrived, first class was the only class left. Since we wanted to make sure we had a good view, it was time to travel in style.
We made it on the train.
Yes.
And we got, what, 6 hours?
6 hours.
Somewhere around there. Just really excited to see some more of the beauty of Sri Lanka, I think.
Once we left the station, it didn't take long at all to discover why this train ride is considered one of the best in the world. The views were absolutely stunning.
We've been on the train for several hours now, and we're really enjoying the trip. There are tea fields all over the place. I thought they would just be around Nuwara Eliya, but they have been everywhere. It's acres and acres, and it's really beautiful.
Only one problem, that the door to the car won't stay closed, will it?
No, the door between the cars won't stay closed, and then the doors outside of the car people leave open, so all the air conditioning is going away. But that's okay, because we're here for the view, not for the air conditioning.
Well said.
Make it all the way to Ella finally?
We made it. Go us.
We did make it, but since you need your tickets to leave the station, and we left ours on the train, it took a mad dash back to our seats before we could actually get out and enjoy Ella. We hired a tuk-tuk to take us to our hotel for the night, and once we were checked in, we immediately set off again. Another train was coming through, and we wanted a view as it passed over the famous Nine Arches Bridge. next day, the train was sold out, so we hired a car and moved quickly, heading up to Nuwara Eliya and its famous tea fields. We have arrived up in
Nuwara Eliya.
Oh good, one of us can pronounce it. And this is where we're going to be doing a lot of the tea exploration, because Sri Lanka grows, what is it, the fourth
Largest producer of tea in the world.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
For a small country, yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing some tea tours tomorrow, but today, well, we've got just a little bit of sunlight left. We've got a hike planned. So this is, we've got a Buddhist temple right there. You can hear them chanting.
That is Single Tree Temple, and we
Yeah.
are doing the Single Tree Hill hike.
Yeah, and it's got some absolutely gorgeous views over the city. Ah, what a gorgeous way to end up the day. Find your nice view, babe?
We did. How about that?
Just in time as the sun's going down, huh?
Yep, sun's pretty much gone behind us. But it's a pretty cool view of the town.
Where are we starting the day off today?
We are at the Victoria Garden in Nuwara Eliya, and as you can see, it's kind of chilly out.
Yeah, we got jackets on. That's weird.
Yeah, Nuwara Eliya is also known as Little England of Sri Lanka because of the climate here. This is where the English wealthy expatriates used to come and live here. So there's a lot of English influence. It's very like colonial feel, and of course we have things like this named after Queen Victoria.
Gotta, honor the monarch.
Yeah, I guess so.
When you're Brits, I'm pretty sure that's appropriate. Yeah.
When you're a colony of the British Empire. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And so then what's the plan for the rest of the day?
And after this, we're going to Maxwoods, which is a tea factory and museum.
Yeah, that's what I'm really excited about, I think.
Yes, and then in the afternoon, we are going to do the high tea at the Grand Hotel.
Wait, pinky out.
Sip some tea.
So fancy!
So very fancy. Yeah, so we're looking forward to all that. It's tea-tastic.
Well, and on that note, we're done here. The gardens were quite nice, even if it was a bit early in the year for things to be in bloom. But visiting local gardens is one of Amy's favorite things to do, and it was a great start to the day. For the next stop, it turns out Maxwoods wasn't quite what we thought it was, so instead, we headed to the Pedro Tea Plantation. This time, they had the tea fields we were looking for. Looks like we made it to a tea plantation.
We are in the fields of a tea plantation.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So what's the plan here? We're gonna have a little tour and
Tour, tasting, etc. All the usual
Not a bad
stuff.
way to start out a morning, huh?
Probably finish up a morning, considering it's kind of late.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm losing track of time. During our tour, we learned that tea production in Sri Lanka accounts for over 2% of the country's GDP, contributing over 1.5 billion to the economy. Starting with the first tea plantation founded by James Taylor and Kandy in 1867, tea plantations now cover approximately 4% of Sri Lanka. This is a big business. Seeing the inner workings of the factory was a great experience, but unfortunately, we weren't allowed to film. We did get to console ourselves by doing a taste test of what we'd seen.
How was the tour?
Tour was great. We learned a lot about tea manufacturing, which I didn't know anything about. I just drink tea, so yeah.
Gotta learn about where it comes from, huh?
Yeah, it was really interesting. We saw the factory in practice, and they were rolling out the tea leaves after having been slightly dried, and then after they're rolled out, they're baked in the oven, so they're really dry. And then they sort them and separate and grade and bag, and we saw all that.
The whole process.
Yeah, it was
Wouldn't
really
let us
neat.
film, of course, but...
Would not let us film, but we learned a lot. And now we're drinking tea.
Of
From
course.
here, one would assume.
It would be kind of ironic if it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, one of those things in Sri Lanka checked off the list.
Yeah. It was very interesting.
Now, high tea time, huh?
High tea this afternoon.
For high tea, we chose to head to the Grand Hotel, which is one of those places that just screams high tea. We arrived a bit early to make sure we got a table in the tea lounge, and I was immediately overwhelmed by just how many different kinds of tea they had on offer.
We've started our tea adventure. I'm having the Prince of Kandy black tea, and David is having a Moroccan green mint tea. We had the Moroccan mint tea in France when we were there last, 4 years ago, I guess. But I'm gonna give a little tasting to some of the black teas and see what I like the most. Very hot.
Yeah, might want to let that cool just a little bit, babe.
Trying to be all classy.
This was my first high tea experience, and I have to admit, I am definitely a fan. The Moroccan mint tea was delicious, and fortunately, Google could help give us a bit more background behind their tradition.
High tea is a very British thing, and some of you may not know what it is. We had to learn a little bit. But the high tea we have now is actually what would be called low tea back in the day. So high tea consisted of a heavy meal and the working class, and then low tea was basically English ladies getting bored in the afternoon.
Oh my.
Yes, so that evolved into what we have here, which is high tea. High tea here at the Grand Hotel is a little bit more casual than like the one I went to in Sydney, because it caters to tourists and backpackers, so that's nice. And we have a tier of 3 different plates. The top one is cold savory dishes, the middle one is hot savory dishes, and the bottom one are the sweets.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, this is going to be a nice little experience for us Americans, eh?
Absolutely.
With a little egg Canadian thrown in.
The food was a pleasant surprise for me, since, you know, it wasn't exactly mentioned in the high tea name. But that didn't stop me from enjoying it immensely.
Everything is gone. Was
Yeah.
delicious.
We ate
What
everything.
was your favorite?
Well, the chocolate mousse dessert.
Yeah, I was really going between that and the scone, which was
Okay.
my absolute favorite, I think.
Yeah.
Because it had some cream and a little bit of like
Cream
a
and jam.
and it was delicious.
David likes the scones.
I do.
Yeah. But we also had like 6 cups of tea each, I think, because each carafe probably holds about 3 cups. And yeah, we had 2 each.
Pretty awesome high tea experience.
And our bill came to $8 each. $8 US each.
Absolutely amazing.
1,500 rupees.
Not bad, Sri Lanka.
No.
Our time in the tea fields of Sri Lanka was short but sweet. We caught the train back north again, as we had one more thing to do on our land adventure, a safari in Wilpattu National Park. Hey y'all, thank you for checking out little more exploration from central Sri Lanka. Gotta say, that train ride and those tea fields were absolutely gorgeous. It was very different from the normal beaches and stuff we usually see, but it's still pretty fantastic. So we're glad we got a chance to stop there. Now, as you can see behind me, we've got like boats and docks and all that stuff because we are in Richards Bay, South Africa. So we are finally almost done with the Indian Ocean. I know at least a few of you guys follow us from here, so I'm going to put a link down below to our Facebook page. And as we come around the country, keep an eye out. And if we're coming near you, say hello. We are also going to be holding a meetup in Cape Town. Don't know the date quite yet, but keep an eye out on our Facebook page, and we would love to see y'all there. Thank you guys again for watching. We will see y'all next time.